Folks, my name is Elliot Johnson, Fan48, and welcome to another video. This is not a normal video. This is not qualifying. This is not a race. This is nothing like that. This is the announcement of the final 16 drivers that will have a chance to contend at the title, and I have the points behind me, but we'll get to those in a second. So you may be wondering what this weird arrangement of cars is. On this top row, we have your top 21 in points. That means 16 of them will move on, and the other 5 were oh so close to moving on. And I jumbled them up in a random order. I actually based them off of teams. And right now, you probably have no idea who's in and who's not. And I put them in based on the greatest number of cars to the smallest. So from Hendrick Motorsports, all 5 of their cars were in the top 21. Joe Gibbs, all 4 of their cars were in the top 21. Stewart-Haas has 3 of their cars. Trackhouse has 2. Petty GMS has 2. Penske with only 1. Colleague with 1. Wood Brothers with 1. Roush Fenway Keselowski with 1. And Richard Childress with 1. This bottom row are people that were outside the top 21. Caution Cup Series, Funky Monkey Man, Nico Savant. This is in no order. Nico Savannah, Gucci Gamer, Brian Griffin Family Guy fan, Michael McDowell, Ricky Stenhouse, Bryce's Sports and Plushies, Ronald Backmarkers fan, Justin Haley, Corey LaJoy, Noah Gregson, Kurt Busch. I hate to break it to you guys, but you guys are out. It is now down to these guys. Out of these 21 drivers, 16 of them will be moving on, and 5 of them were oh so close. Let's get to it. I've got the points right behind me, and we're going to go from 1st to 16th. Your points leader is not who you guys would expect them to be. They were the points leader of the NASCAR Napa Cup Series for a while until people started winning, and then they got knocked down. You guys may know who I'm talking about now. I'm talking about your most recent winner, Harrison Burton. He is your points leader at the moment with 228 points. Now, second place doesn't really come as a shock. He is a Hendrick Motorsports driver. He showed some good dominance at the beginning, went through a little bit of a drought, but won again at race 8. You guys know who I'm talking about now. I'm talking about the 5 of Adam NASCAR Cup Series fan 88. He enters the playoffs in second place. Now third, this is where things start to get interesting. Number 3 is a Joe Gibbs representative. He showed very good consistency at the beginning of the season. Finally got his win at race 7 of the Teammate Tandem and has come close to getting his second ever since, especially last race in race 10. You guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about It's Skylanders Gamer YT. He enters the playoffs 3rd place. 4th place is somebody that you guys are probably familiar with. He's a regular on my channel. He was not good at the beginning of the NASCAR Napa Cup Series season. We had to do a car change. He is now a Toyota representative, and he's been showing dominance, top 5s ever since. He was Skylanders Gamer YT's partner in the Teammate Tandem, race 7. You guys know who I'm talking about now. Isaiah Joy in the 18 enters the playoffs, 4th place. 12 spots left. This next driver was a race 3 sign up, but his car had a little bit of success before he signed up, and he showed some dominance early on, clinching the win in race 5, but he's been on a bit of a drought recently, but that hasn't stopped him from being 5th in the points currently. You guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 3rd Joe Gibbs car. AM57, the Red Bull fan, comes into the playoffs in 5th place. Yes, 6th place. Stewart-Haas has been struggling all season long, but they have had consistency, and although they haven't gotten the amount of wins they've wanted, they've gotten 3 of their 4 cars into the top 21, but this one stuck out. This is the only Stewart-Haas winner that they have so far. He's your winner of race 9, none other than Yeetus Apologitas Man. French Fry in the number 10 comes into the playoffs, 6th place. Yes, we move on to 7th place. This guy entered the season. I was a little bit skeptical of his car choice, but he proved himself in his first 3 races. He was very dominant, all 3 top 5s, including a win. And he's definitely disliked by some, but that doesn't matter because he happens to get the job done, and he's liked by others. That is none other than the 43 of Maynard's Cup Series. He, in the 43, will enter the playoffs 7th place. Next up, we have a car who has struggled a little bit. But whenever he has flashes of dominance, he happens to do really well. And it's kind of funny because if he did not win his race, he would actually be below the cutoff right now. Who I'm talking about is, I believe it's race 6. Your race 6 winner, NASCAR fan for life in the 48. He is 8th place in the playoffs. Now that we've gone through your 8 winners, now let's go on to the people that advanced by points. 9th place. This person has been very up and down this season. Some of their qualifying runs haven't been the best, but they've really stepped up recently. Made the Fast 12 in qualifying for the first time in race 10. And I believe they should have won by now, in my personal judgment. I'm talking about the 81 of Mickey and Jeffy Show. He enters the playoffs 9th as your actual points leader with 237, thanks to that most recent race. But it was Bowser Jr. who drove his car in the most recent race. So Mickey and Jeffy Show, Bowser Jr., Mr. Goodman, whoever you want to call it, the 81 car enters the playoffs 9th. Folks, just had to go eat dinner, but let's continue where we left off. 10th place, entering the playoffs. You guys are probably very familiar with this driver. He was never able to get his hands on the win in the 10 regular season races, but he sure as hell got close. Although, some people may not like the way he races. He still is extremely consistent, and he was actually the points leader for a little bit, but a tough race today knocked him back just a little bit, but still in a nice solid 10th place entering the playoffs. I'm talking about James Byrd in the 19. He is 10th. Would you look at that? All 4 Joe Gibbs cars are in the round of 16. Now, let's move on to 11th place. Qualifying runs have not been very good at all for this driver. Race pace wasn't that great either, but after a couple nice solid top 10 finishes and a 5th place recently, he got knocked up again in the points, and he was actually the points leader for a couple races here. That was during his chain of top 10s. I'm talking about none other than myself, Elliott Johnson, fan 48, entering the playoffs 11th place. 12th place. This driver has had quite the journey this year. This driver, very up and down qualifying runs. Would go from, let's say, top 20 to below top 20, like in 30th, all the way to making the Fast 12. So this person was all over the place in qualifying, pretty consistent in the races. Top 10 after top 10. Got very close to a win a couple times. They were not able to get their hands on it, but I'm pretty sure they will in the playoffs. If they get their stuff figured out. I'm talking about the 24 of NASCAR 5'9". He enters the playoffs in 12th place. Yes, 4 spots left. This is where it gets intense. This next driver, they were not quite locked in after last race, but this driver really struggled at the beginning of the year, but they must have got their stuff figured out, and they ended up catching up to their teammates late in the running, and they almost locked themselves in last race. They needed a decent finish today to seal it all off, and their race finish today wasn't great, but it doesn't matter because they're still placed 13th in the playoffs. I'm talking about the 14 of the NASCAR official 2022, 13th entering the playoffs. Would you look at that? We have all of our 3 Stewart-Haas cars into the round of 16, except for Gucci Gamer. He had a rough season. Now, 14th place. This driver, extremely, I emphasize that, extremely solid in qualifying, but was never quite able to get it done in the race. He would get solid finishes, but it wasn't enough to keep up with the top 16. But recently he really caught up. He was barely out, so he needed a solid finish today, and 7th place got it done. I'm talking about NASCAR fan number 3, was 17th as of race 9. He got booted up to 14th in the playoffs after his race today. 2 spots left. This driver, not known by many people, or as for the playoff contenders, wasn't really expected to be here. Not good qualifying pace. not good race pace, but like in the most recent 5 races, top 10 after top 10 after top 10. It seems like nothing could stop this driver, and they really figured out their stuff. They were never able to win, but they sure as hell got close a couple times. And I believe they got like 2 top 5s in the last 4 races, and that allowed this driver to get just a couple points above the cutoff line. I'm talking about Ty Dillon in the 42 making a surprise appearance, 15th in the playoffs. 1 spot left. We have 6 drivers left lined up here. Bowman Fan 48, NASCAR Hot Wheels Stop Motion, Isaac Arango, Caleb Clark, and the 2 Trackhouse cars, Scottman Productions 83 and Daniel Suarez. This last driver didn't look so good at the beginning of the season, but they've definitely had their up and down moments. Couple top 5s here and there, but whenever things would go wrong, they would really go wrong. And this driver definitely had their good moments and bad moments, and not a good race today, but oh boy, this was close. They were able to squeak their way into the playoffs by only a couple points. The person I'm talking about, get ready folks, the final car moving on in the playoffs. NASCAR Hot Wheels Stop Motion in the 2. He starts 16th in the... There you have it, folks. Your final 16 right here. Harrison Burton, Adam NASCAR Cup Series Fan 88, Skylanders Gamer YT, Isaiah Joy, AM57 the Red Bull Fan, French Fry, Manners Cup Series, NASCAR Fan for Life, Mickey and Jeffy Show, James Bird, Elliot Johnson Fan 48, NASCAR 59, the NASCAR Official 2022, NASCAR Fan number 3, Ty Dillon, and NASCAR Hot Wheels Stop Motion. That is your 16 drivers that remain in competing for a title. Now, let's not go on without giving these guys their due. These guys were extremely close to advancing. 17th place in the playoffs, Caleb Clark. The guy who knows nothing about NASCAR, doesn't even know my favorite driver, but he was a wheel man. He lost to NASCAR Hot Wheels Stop Motion by only 5 points. Caleb Clark missed out by 5. This next driver missed out by 7. I'm talking about Bowman Fan 48. Definitely had his ups and downs this season. Was driving the 88 car, which I thought had a lot more pace than it did, but it definitely didn't show the results that I was expecting. Bowman Fan didn't show the results that he wanted, but he did have some flashes of dominance in qualifying and in the race. Had a 13th place finish today, but it just wasn't enough. He gained 16 points on the cut line. He needed just 7 more to get there. Bowman Fan, 18th. Now we have our 19th place driver who tied Bowman Fan 48. He was also 7 points out. Talking about Isaac Arango. He had very solid runs this season, but he also had his bad moments. It seemed like he would get up there, but he was never in contention. But that 16 car did have pace all year round, and whenever you saw it up front, it tended to do good. Isaac Arango only missed out by 7. Very well done this season. In 20th place this season, I'd like to give this driver their due for sure. This driver, whenever it first signed up, started his career in last place with a single point to his name. Ever since then, he fought an absolutely incredible battle to get up there, and in his last 3 races, I legitimately thought he was going to do it. He only missed out. After being back by about 60 points to the cut line, he got so close, he only missed out by 8 points. I'm talking about Scottman Productions 83 in the 1. I'd just like to say, incredible job this year, man. If I were you, I'd stay with that 1 car, because in those last couple races, you hauled ass, and you got so close, dude. I'd like to give you some special credit, because you made up the greatest gap of anyone in the field in those 10 races. So, I'd just like to say congratulations. 20th place, so close. Only 8 points, folks. And then the last remaining car is none other than Scottman Productions 83's Trackhouse teammate, Daniel Suarez. had a pretty solid season, but he was actually above the cutoff. He was 15th as of last race, but a second to last place finish was basically the opposite of what he needed. He only had a 3-point cushion, and that ended up crushing his playoff hopes. He was also 8 points out. So I can't judge Daniel Suarez's season off that one bad finish though. Suarez was very solid, and I legitimately thought he was going to make the playoffs. So, folks, this is your top 21 cars. The top row is your final 16. Congratulations to every single one of you. These bottom 5 were your 5 closest. I'd just like to say congratulations to you gentlemen as well. Y'all gave it your all. You hauled ass in the last couple of races. Bowman Finn and Scott Man Productions, I didn't think it was possible for you guys to do what you did, but you guys figured it out, but it was just too late. You guys were so close, so I'd also like to give you guys a congratulations. And don't think I forgot about these guys back here. You guys made the best from the pretty crappy race cars that you had. Caution Cup Series, 3rd place qualifying in the most recent race. Nico, up and down all year, but was fantastic in qualifying. Brian Griffin, Family Guy fan, and Gucci Gamer really stepped up at the end there. Funky Monkey Man, 6th place finish in race 10, incredibly done. Bryce's Sports and Plushies, up and down, but he was really solid at the end, just fell off. Ronald Backmarkers fan was starting to figure it out at the end, but he was too far gone. And I believe that's it for all your signups. I'd like to say congratulations to you guys. Very well done this season. I'm sorry you're not a part of the 16 to compete, but I'd like to say thank you for giving it your all and making the best out of what you had. Same goes for you 5 over here. The 84 had no pace, and Bowman fan, you still drove it to 18th. So that's pretty damn good. And Scott, man, you drove a car that was at one point last in the standings to 20th place. So that's one hell of a job. I know it sucks to be that close to the final 16 and not make it, but y'all have got a lot to be proud of, that's for sure. Anyway, congratulations to the top 16 here. Make sure to celebrate, and we'll be back for race 11 tomorrow. Get ready, folks.